This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Long Run, brought to you by Skechers. I'm Ian Wilkerson. This is a place for news, views, and tips for everyday runners, and hopefully there will be a few laughs along the way as well.
Never know.
Happy Easter, everybody!
Yeah, happy Easter. It's Good Friday.
Still got a couple of days you can tuck into those eggs, but it's Good Friday, and I hope you've had a good day. If you've had the day off, if you've not, if you've had to work, I hope you've done all right as well, and you're in a good mood, and your weekend starts here.
All right, here's a question straight out the back, Wilco.
Go on.
Easter egg of choice.
Oh, chocolate orange.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, right? Mrs. Ford had a chocolate orange 12 Easter egg delivered. I never threw it in the bin. I mean, it just made me want to vomit.
Sorry, so Nicola got the chocolate 12.
Yeah, no, somebody gave it to her, and I said that can't stay in this house because it should be. If anybody's not listened to any of this podcast and you're catching up, right? Chocolate orange should be made illegal in the UK. It's illegal in Mongolia, it's illegal in Malaysia, and it's illegal in Malta. If they have followed suit because they're such big fans of the podcast, they've outlawed it. And now we're pushing for it to be outlawed in the UK.
Speak for yourself, mate. I know it's your name above the door and all that, but I'm not going along with this.
You're not having it, are you? You're not having it. So, what about you? What's your weapon of choice?
Am I allowed to say chocolate orange?
No one's. He was shy the other day, right? He went because we did the kids. He went and got the coffee from the bar, and he bought some chocolate back. I said, "There better not be chocolate orange." He was wetting himself. He was at the bar and he was thinking, "Do I? Don't I get it for him?" But
There's no dilemma. I'd have done it.
I would have got it.
No, you would. It's like when Toe asked him for a snack and he got me some vegan cheese
and a chocolate orange.
I mean,
if you're proper vegan, you shouldn't be eating chocolate anyway.
I don't. That's why I don't eat chocolate. That's why I don't. Anyway, I'm 90%.
But remember,
vegan.
Kids, chocolate orange is one of your 5 a day.
I'm 90% vegan. Remember that. And I'm looking forward to my vegan chocolate Easter eggs this weekend.
Yes.
So
being as it's Easter, we're having the night off.
Yeah.
We've all gone out.
We couldn't be bothered. We couldn't bother doing a live.
We couldn't be bothered. So what we're doing is we've recorded a quote because we do it at the Long Run, which you can watch on Friday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook or YouTube, or you can download as a podcast on your podcast provider of choice. We get loads of emails when we remember. But there's 2 things. We have to remember what the address is so people can send them in. And then Chris has to remember to read them. Yeah. But so what happens is over this period of weeks, we accumulate a big mountain of sort of it. And unfortunately, some do slip through the net. You know, we could have a point where somebody says, "Oh yeah, I'm doing my first London virtual marathon due to the lockdown. What should I do?" And then unfortunately, things have moved on.
I kind of it's the emails about the winter run I've had to sort of apologise for.
Yeah. You know, so sometimes we're a couple of months out and we can only apologise for that. But we're doing our best. So what we thought we'd do is we'd do an email special so that we can clear the backlog. Yeah. Hopefully offer you some good advice on a variety of running-based issues. Well, I'll present it. I won't have any advice.
Yeah.
I'm as much in the dark as anybody.
Yeah.
So what we will do is we will highlight some of the emails that you sent us. We'll have a little chat about them. A bit of fun as well. And then hopefully you can go off on your long run over the weekend and be entertained by the
you never know. Now, so we should talk about the elephant in the room. We've got no owl tonight.
No.
Which you may have noticed, may not have noticed. You might not care. But so for anybody who's asking, bless him, he's at the home every year because he's the only able-bodied member at the home. He has to dress up as the Easter Bunny. So they wheel him round. He dresses up in his Easter Bunny. So they wheel him round. His nurse wheels him round the home. He's got like a little basket and he gives out vegan chocolate. And and then he goes and has his pepperoni pizza. But they wheel him round, and then he gives out all the Easter eggs to all the other people in the home. It's usually melted down the chocolate because they have to, obviously, because of the teeth. And then that's what he's doing. So he can't be here tonight. It's a big night for them in the home. So he sends his apologies. We will continue to take the mickey out of him because he's not here, basically.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, isn't it, boys?
So over the next sort of
That
45 minutes or so, that will be a characteristic of the whole broadcast, really, that regular sort of digs and laughs at Al.
Yeah, at his expense because he can't defend himself.
Because it is a special edition, but then we still have to maintain all the other stuff that we do every other time that we're polluting your airwaves.
Yeah, and he would do the same if I wasn't here, and likewise. So it's mutual. It's mutual respect amongst our fellow co-hosts. Now, got to give a shout out to Skechers for sponsoring Don't Stop Go Run Skechers. Shout out to them before we get into the email special. Don't forget to go over to skechers.co.uk if you're here in the UK or wherever you are in the world. Go to Skechers. They make some awesome running shoes and some awesome kit. Golf stuff, Wilco. Masters. Golf stuff. Yeah, can't forget to talk about the Masters. Obviously,
I'm off on a golf holiday, so I could do some kit.
We pre-recorded, but Skechers, we love you. Hopefully, we're going to get some golf stuff as well sent for having last minute. But yes, they make some good stuff anyway. That's the Skechers.
And also, if you're sitting here listening and you think, "Gosh, I'd love to have my email read out on the long run," that'd be brilliant. Send them to us.
What's the email?
longrunShow@gmail.com. And we will try and accommodate it. Be patient because it might take a couple of months.
If you've got an email about 2023, go for it.
Yeah, if you've got an email about the ballot for next year's London Marathon, or you're thinking about doing an ultra in 2024, it's probably worth sending your emails in now, I would say. And boys, don't forget, because we haven't done an email special in a while, we actually got some special graphics that I took
should we have a look at
ages doing. I mean, minutes doing. So, Tobe, dust it out. Hold tight, everybody. If you've got earphones in, you might want to turn your volume down because I think I probably done the sound too loud. Right, Tobe, run the email special intro. I love the bit at the end.
Was that produced in the same era as Brooks?
I forgot about the bit at the end where it goes, yeah. It's so Brooks. It's so 1987. It's quality. Absolute quality.
Time.
Oh, sorry. If anybody was listening on the pod, we've just shown some really bad graphics from 1987. They were epic. Absolutely.
It's always worth. I mean, if you've got it on the pod, if you want to pop along to YouTube and think, what am I missing with these brilliant graphics? Watch it twice.
Yeah, watch it. It was at about 7 minutes 30, something like that. Tune in 7 minutes, fast forward 7 minutes 30.
Watch it, review it, tell your friends.
Tell all your friends and leave a review. Thank you very much. Right, so
let's kick off.
Right, so what's the first email we got, Wilco?
We've got an email about shoe brand rotation.
Oh, okay.
From Rob Williams. Don't know if it's the Rob Williams.
The Rob, yeah.
Could be.
What is it?
Hello, fellow Fordians or Fordiettes. I recently came across you on YouTube and I've been hooked since. So I'm listening when on my easy runs to old episodes.
Legend.
It gets better. It will get better, Rob.
Yeah, sorry, Rob.
Just wondering how many different brands of shoe you have in rotation. As an example, I use Brooks Adrenaline 19 for long runs, New Balance 1080 V10s for easy runs, and Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 for strides or goal repeats. I'm an old fogey, 53. Well, what's 53?
There's nothing old about it, bro.
From Shrewsbury, take your choice.
Age is just a number, Rob.
Oi, oi, Rob Williams.
What a legend. Well, firstly, no need to apologise for Brooks. We've all made that mistake, Wilco. I think, actually, you know what? I did a video because when this comes out, check out the video I did on my spring shoe rotation. And you'll notice that it's peppered with different brands. It still amazes me how people are sort of like you, Wilco. Were like you, Wilco, who stay loyal and buy this. And there's nothing wrong with this, right? Just all joking aside, if a shoe works and it fits you and a brand works for you, there's absolutely no reason to change it, right? But regardless, just being sensible for 2 seconds. But it still does amaze me that some people stick to one brand and they don't venture out of fear of going into something that's wrong. And then, you see that with people, especially with Nike. Nike are probably as guilty as this of anybody, and Brooks, that people don't venture outside of that because they're worried about whatever, trying other things. But there's some really good other shoe brands out there, smaller ones. We're not small in any shape or form. Skechers are one of the biggest sporting goods companies in the world. But people don't try Skechers, for example, or they don't try Atreyu, or they don't try, who would I have on the craft shoes? There's so many different brands out there now that's worth looking at. I don't think it makes any difference what number of brands you have, whatever. It's just finding shoes that work for you, and whether you've got 18 pairs in your shoe rotation or you've got one, it's all about finding the shoe that works for you. But don't be frightened to change just because the branding's different. I think.
Do you find sometimes that people might be a bit hasty in dismissing a change of shoe?
Yes.
And not give it a chance? How much of a sort of, like, if you've, say, like, talking from a personal point of view, I mean, we've talked about this, that I've been regularly wearing Brooks for like 6 or 7 pairs for the last 2.5 years. And in order to have something a little bit lighter that I might want to run in my next marathon in, I've tried out the Hokas.
Yeah.
Now, how much should you give? I mean, you reviewing shoes all the time, so you'll know that you have to run a certain mileage to gauge a particular opinion on how good they're going to be and stuff like that. What advice would you give to people for, they might try it on, they might do 5 miles in the first run, get a blister or something. And because it's a different thing. They'll say, right, that's it. They're rubbish. I'm not wearing them anymore.
It's right. So to answer your question, so before we put a review out, sometimes we do a first run video, and that's usually where we've stuck something like a 16 miler in it, or a 20. Sometimes I go out and do something stupid like put them on for 20 miles and do a first video. But in general, before the first review that they get, the first video they get in general is usually at least after a minimum of 3 runs, a minimum. So I've put 3 different paces through them, 3 different distances through them, 3 different uses, and that's minimum. Unless there's something, like I said, like a special, like we did the Nike mile. I did 16 miles in them things and my feet melted. But in general, I try and do at least. So usually what I tend to try and do is have the shoe for about a week before I then do a video on it. So it's going to have at least 20 miles in them, there or thereabouts. Some shoes you do know whether, as soon as you put them on, there's just like the New Balance 1080 version 12. As soon as I put that on, I knew just the fitting, the feel from the midsole, the setup, and I wasn't a fan of the previous version. I just knew when I slipped that on that it was that was going to work. But there are other shoes that I know, for example, Nike React shoes got the React foam. They always come better later on down the line, and it's the same with the Asics Glide Ride. The Glide Rides, you put them on first. You need a good 70 miles in a pair of Glide Rides before that flight foam. It's going to be a little bit different with version 3 because they're softening it up and it's dropping an ounce. But you with that flight foam in an Asics, you need to give it a good 50 to 70 miles before that really starts to come at you. But I know that because of the amount of shoes and the stuff I'm going for, I kind of get a feeling of what's what. I do find some shoes I will wear and I'll go, oh, that's brilliant. And then actually, nah. Or I'll go, I hate that. And then I'll end up liking it. So that's why I always like to try and do where I can, because it's not tough, because nothing's tough when you're in the position I'm in. But where you've got so many shoes coming through, I always try if I can to come back and do some form of follow-up review on them. At least get them out on a long run and do some form of, other sort of take on them. But I think sometimes you just know when you put a pair of shoes on that they're going to work. Like, I'll never forget my first pair of Glide Rides. I stuck them on and went out around 20 miles. I had no problem at all. They just worked. And like I say, the New Balance 1080 version 12, I think I did the same. Didn't I say I might have even done 20 mile in them first crack out of them? You just know certain shoes you put on are going to work. So, but don't despair as well, because some shoes do come to you, like the stuff in the Nike React.
And also, you get a good, when you're buying this stuff, a lot of these firms have got such good return policies, haven't they, that you can take advantage and give them a really good trot before finding out that
we did that. We did that with the Streak Fly, with the Nike Streak Fly. Toby and I both managed to get a pair of them. And I mean, he wore them before me because I was coming back from surgery, and then he had a problem with them, and then I finally got my hands on them, and it was just, but it's been like, what was it, 45 days or something before I started like wearing them or something. And I wore them for a few weeks, and they would just killing my calf muscles, absolutely killing them. And I sent them back, and they refunded it. And the things were used, like, and they weren't just like used as in like, oh, I've trotted around the lounge and they don't feel right. I mean, I took them to Chelsea Parkrun where they got destroyed down just that one section. It was like, well, I don't know what they call it. It was like a bog.
The bog.
They went
not that
back,
bog, the other bog.
Yeah, they went back. They came out the box white. They went back like brown. But I still got my money back. So yeah, it is amazing how the returns policies are what they are with Nike. I don't know what some of the others are, but
lots of them seem to be quite generous. You consider, when you compare it to sort of like what you get on return policy if you bought a telly or you bought other stuff,
Yeah, but I think it's funny, isn't it? Because of the world we live in now, you can't. Well, no, that's not wrong. You couldn't for 2 years go to a running store. So what do they do? Say, oh, you can't buy running shoes for 2 years. No. So they adapted. It'd be interesting to see over the next year or two whether they change those policies accordingly. But I think people now have got in the habit of buying stuff online, trying it on at home. And I'm sure the manufacturers know they'll have because they're not stupid, they'll have a percentage in which it returns and how much they're losing on it and all that kind of stuff. And the cool thing is with Nike, I mean, I give them a hard time, but you look at their nature shoes that are coming out. So you've got like the Pegasus Turbo coming back, which is made from all recycled shoes. You've got the Alpha Fly Nature, which is old, Zoom X is made up of all recycled shoes and stuff. So fair play to them. They're using them rightly. So I've got no idea what the percentage is. I'm sure it's probably a small percentage versus the number of shoes they actually sell that come back on them. So they probably don't really care in terms of, money lost, because chances are, if that shoe doesn't work, you're then going to put that money to something else, aren't you? So, example, I used the Streak Fly. Well, actually, no, it's a bad example because I used the Streak Fly money to buy a shoe from a totally different brand. So that's a very bad example. But I'm just thinking that some people, they would have used the money. Maybe they got I don't know, Nike Pegasus and thought, well,
if it's in your account, you'd buy, I don't know, wet weather gear or
you use it for something else. So they're still getting your money at the end of the day. That's the point.
I think they've got to tempt you in, haven't they? Otherwise, you will percentages stick with that brand and that shoes that you've had.
It's a competitive marketplace, isn't it? And this sort of thing, it tips the balance.
It is, yeah. It is a competitive market. If you think you go into a running store, 90% of the time they're going to give you a pair of Brooks. So they got to do something about it. So a fair play to it. I think Hoka have done amazing with the way they've done their advertising and pushed it. I tell you, the other ones who've done well, even though I don't rate their shoes that much, but everyone seems to love their latest model, is the On Running people. Their marketing, since they floated and went public, they've been chucking loads of money at their advertising and marketing. So I don't know what their returns policy is, but fair play to them in terms of getting it out there and trying to increase their exposure. So anyway, we've ended up speaking about running shoes again, haven't we? This is like a running shoe.
It was Rob's question, and I think
so fair play to Rob. Rob, that's not everybody who's listening in Mongolia. That's not our fault. No. We're happy to do emails on horses if you want to send them in.
Rob's led us astray.
Yeah, look, Rob, don't send in any more emails about shoes. You're welcome to come back in, but don't mention shoes. Maybe talk about, I don't know, Toby's Barnet. Have a look.
Diet.
What?
The diet. Maybe we can talk about
diet. We need to talk about Toby's diet at some point because it's out of control.
It's amazing.
But no, it's not, Toby. You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you're not careful. He's eating so much rubbish. Toby, right, would be able to run a 3-hour marathon if he didn't eat like a pig. It's disgusting, the sort of thing that he's putting through his body.
It's going to catch up with you, mate.
He would be like me, a finely tuned athlete, if he didn't eat all that rubbish. What?
Like who?
Who is it?
Where?
You need to go 90% vegan like me. Right, moving on.
10% vegan.
Got another one then? Where, Scott?
Oh, didn't you have those ones that you got off the Facebook group?
I did just a couple of bits. Now, they're a little bit left field. We'll do this one because you've talked about London Marathon.
Yeah.
About us getting a question about the London Marathon, and we've got one. I've listened to all your podcasts and find them very helpful. This is from Jason Stott. Cheers, Jason. Thanks, mate. I've managed to get into the London Marathon in October and listen to the podcast. I believe you now have to do the bag drop in Excel the day before. I've done London once before and put my bag on the lorry at Blackheath. Where do we put our clothing, etc., that we are wearing on the day immediately before we go to the race?
He's stressed. Look, what? Who was the thing from?
Jason.
Right, Jason. I love you. Thank you for listening. But bruv, don't worry about what's going on in October. It's if you're worrying about the bag drop, I'll give you a clue. You've got other things to worry about. There's no point now. It always does make me laugh. I did some stuff with some clients the other day, and they're petrified about something, and they're worried about this, and it had nothing to do with running. It was all about stuff that won't impact you. So don't worry about stuff like that. If they go, I mean, maybe London Marathon events, big fans of the show, we know that. If they go back and carry on doing what they did last year, so be it. And you've got to go all the way to XL and waste your time, waste your money, and put a massive carbon footprint when they're meant to be sustainable, but making us all traveling to London using petrol, using electricity, and all that sort of stuff to go and get a plastic bag that's not made from anything recycled, but they're doing massive stuff for sustainability. But if they want to make us do that, so be it. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it, and we'll suck it up like we did last year, and when we sucked up COVID when we was there. So if that's the case, it is what it is. But I hope they go back to what they did before, which was a sensible idea. But I hope actually that they really, really, really use these little things up here called brain cells, and they send those bags out to us early, and we can do whatever we want, and we send our numbers out, so we don't have to go to the Excel Centre. We just rock up on the day and use the bag drop, because that would be the most logical
easy
thing.
though, isn't it, when you're doing a marathon and stuff, to get embroiled into peripheral issues and stuff like this?
I'm mock, right? But I'm the worst person. So, I'm worried. I'm thinking about where's the nearest toilet on, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm
but that's more of an immediate concern.
Yeah. So, it's fair to say that, I've been a bit harsh. But yeah, no, Jason, I really, really won't worry about it. It's October.
I'm sure, Jason, we will have lots of London Marathon chat in the next 6 months up to the race. So please carry on listening. You never know. We might have a pearl of wisdom that
just you might get someone on from London Marathon events, and you can ask them. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. Right, Wilco, what was the other thing from the group?
Now I don't know. I don't know how much insight you'll be able to offer on this. It's about trail running.
Oh, I'm huge in trail running.
If you are going for a run which has no marshals, but then gives you a written guide for the route with ordnance survey map grid references for meeting points, does Garmin or anything else allow you to put the start and end point in and tell you where to go?
So you're our watch specialist.
That's what I was worrying when you put me and specialist in one sentence, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Particularly when you ain't been listening.
I was actually reading it. I'll take it in a bit more reading it. But I'm not going much help either. And I'm not sure with the watches you can put the grid references in. I mean, you can pre-plan your routes on Garmin Connect and upload that to your watches to navigate. But I'm not sure you can chuck in a grid reference.
I just thought it was an interesting concept of going in and running in a trail where you don't know where you're going.
There was those new watches from Garmin. They were going to send them to me, and I said, "There's no point sending me that because I won't use that properly."
I think if you go top level, I mean, they do their sort of handheld computery type things as well, and all that sort of stuff. You can.
I'm going to look this up because I saw this the other day. They were going to send it to me, and I said, "Don't bother." See, that's the honest sort of person I am on YouTube. I turn down stuff like this to get sent because it's just wasted on me.
Well, we've got enough videos of you getting lost in Broxbourne Woods, haven't we? So
yeah, where is it? I'm going to find this because to be fair, it looked really cool, but it was totally pointless sending it to me. It was called.
I don't think it is pointless though, because we might not get lost as much.
Yeah, that is true.
But then you'd have to know how to use it. So
I can't find it now. It's annoying. I can't find. It might be under multi-sport. It was like really hardcore, and you could do like loads of wicked stuff on it. And it was like a GPS phone looking thing.
So they do their handheld like Explorers, I think, or something like that.
It looked really cool. It
Effectively,
really did look cool.
You're into the mountaineering range.
Yeah, that's what it was in. It was but I can't remember the name of it. So anyway, go on a Garmin and have a look.
Karen Tranquil. Sorry, we couldn't answer your questions.
Yeah, but there is
really,
something.
But I mean, it's really interesting. It's an interesting concept and an interesting thing about doing a trail run when there's no marshals about and following signs and reading maps and things like that.
Yeah,
you don't fancy that, do you? Challenge Toby. Do you reckon we could send him off into the woods without a map?
To be honest, that sounds like a trail run what we normally do.
Yeah, no, there's no different there, Wilco. But we have, I tell you, I let the viewers into a new challenge, Toby, that we are doing. If you want,
when you say viewers, does that include me?
Because it's I was still on the Garmin website. I've got getting irritated with it. If I can't find it, how are they going to sell watches? And you got to remember, I'm an idiot. So if an idiot can't find it, then how are you going to sell them? Anyway, so our new plan, Wilco, you'll like this, and I'll let that because this is for our viewers and podcast listeners. So our new challenge is going to be this. So Toe, on after Edinburgh, he's going to be doing a park run in shoes that he chooses. I'm not going to dictate the shoes. He's got to run as fast as he can, and we're going to give him a load of celebrity times he's got to beat. Because there's an app with all celebrity park run times. So we want to try and find a celebrity. I'm hoping he beats Gordon Ramsay, people like that. So we're going.
Oh, brilliant!
We're going to find that. So if you know of any celebrities who want to come down to Gunpowder Park Run, let us know. Send an email in something.com, and we'll sort it out. Good. I wonder if Sketchers could get Jamie Redknapp down there and get Tope to race Jamie.
Or also, if there's a celeb that turns up at your local park run, let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you've got a celeb that runs at your
email
park
and
run.
Tell us.
Because Challenge Toby, that's his next adventure. He's going to be taking down celebrities virtually.
I'll tell you what, Tobe, that's quite. I bet when he said, "I've got another challenge for you,"
no, it was. I've had
that one came up. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, so challenges are right. It's I've got a brilliant idea, which is slightly more worrying.
Oh, they're the worst words in the world. Folks, I get about 10 messages a week from Mr. Ford that start with, "I've had this great idea."
No, brilliant idea.
Brilliant idea.
How many of them are brilliant ideas?
Every Tuesday night at Hartford, he catches my eye and says, "Got to talk to you." That's a brilliant idea.
No, be fair. That is a
great idea.
Toby
I like that one.
That ain't a bad one.
That's not bad, yeah.
I've had worse.
Well, it depends on the time, just be honest.
Yeah, because I'm looking at like 16 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's not, I mean, I might have to work on nutrition on that.
Yeah, Toby.
Yes.
Well, you need to do that anyway, boy. We've mentioned that, isn't it? As it is Easter, you should only be eating you should be like a bunny at the moment, just eat grass. Don't you think?
Well, lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce is allowed. That's vegan. You're allowed that. You've got to have a balanced
6 weeks till Edinburgh, mate. Now's the time to sort it out.
I've been getting force-fed food. That's the problem.
No, you're not being force-fed. You're choosing.
I'm at work and people just give me stuff. I can't then not eat it, can I?
You can't say no.
Work from home.
You can't.
Yeah. No,
and let's be honest, would you want to work in that environment that he's sitting in? Look at it. It's a disgrace.
It's wicked.
Look at it. You can't see it on the pod, but it's just this rustic-looking office environment. There's no moody lighting. There's nothing really.
I'll just show it how it is.
It gives him
Let's be honest though. At least I'm not being wheeled round with a bucket of congealed chocolate.
Yeah, that is true.
Giving it to my house
company. I wonder how many people he's upset at home at the moment, dressed as his bunny.
What with his comments?
With his comments, in his inappropriate comments, dressed as a bunny. Do you reckon he's wearing those ladies' underwear, the underwear that he posted? Do you reckon he's wearing them as he's dressed up as?
I hope he's not showing that to them as they're eating the chocolate.
Oh, is it my turn? Because I've got some emails. Hang on, let me get them up.
Go on then. You're the email guru, mate. You crack on.
All right, hang on. I don't know whether I'll be able to answer this one. This is about Garmin. Love the show. So hang on, who's this from? Francis Snodding. Apologies for getting your name wrong. Love the show. Usually podcast it on a Sunday long run. Very entertaining. You're clearly not listening to this podcast. I listened on you on this subject last week. I did the Cardiff half and managed a plus 5 minute PB. Well done.
Nice one.
And Garmin told me I was unproductive. Well, hang on. I have a 4-runner 935, so we'd expect some top-notch feedback. My top-notch feedback for that is ignore it. Just ignore it. And we all get that, unproductive. We are waiting, and being serious, when I see the our contact at Garmin, I'm going to ask her about this unproductive stuff that we get, but I really wouldn't pay any attention. Just swear at your watch and move on.
Yeah. Well,
so-
I think because you can use Garmin because it's got the coach built in, isn't it? If you follow the plans, I can't comment on the plans, haven't tried them,
No.
but then it will relate more to what you're doing.
Oh.
But effectively, your watch doesn't know your training plan.
Yeah,
So it doesn't actually know what you're doing to comment.
I wouldn't pay any attention to it.
So it's sort of void then. It's just nothing to do with it.
I wouldn't pay any attention. It's
Yeah.
just
laugh it off.
Yeah, it's just a set. You just swear.
I do enjoy it. Actually, I do enjoy posts on the Facebook group when people have said, "Cool, I've just run 20 miles in my Garmin." So I've been
5-minute PB here, Francis, and so it's been up and down. I'd set it to jog on. Right, James Thompson's next on my emailing list.
Hit list.
James, hope you're well. Been enjoying the podcast. I started listening last year. Well done, James.
Veteran.
Amazing you got this far, really. I've been enjoying the benefits of doing low heart rate running and focused on building a solid aerobic base over the winter. That's good news. Now, I'd like to increase my cadence as I work on running with better form. Yep, that's what we should be doing. I find that I struggle to keep a high cadence when I'm on a low heart rate run. Is this does your cadence decrease when you're running slower? Blah blah. So this is a cadence question. Shall I take this one, boys?
Probably best.
So yeah, I mean, if you're running slower or you feel like you're running slow, especially when your heart rate's down, you do tend to, your cadence do tend to go off kilt a little bit because you become lazy and that's not lazy in a bad way. That's just, your foot strike. You're not focused on form because if you're an elevated pace, you're working a little bit differently. And when we run that super easy pace and we're keeping our heart rate slow, we do tend to relax a little bit more, which is good. So it's there for. But our cadence does take a little bit of a knock. What I would say to you is to try and combat that is take shorter, faster steps. So you will be running the same pace, but you'll be running with a faster cadence. So just speed up your steps, but shorter. If that makes any sense. Does that make sense, boys? What I'm trying to explain. So you're maintaining the same pace, but your feet are working quicker. Does that see what I mean? So your cadence improves, but you're not taking that sort of low, sloppy, the feet are dragging along the floor.
So that'll help you maintain your form, will it?
Yeah, maintain your form, but also it speeds up that cadence. It makes you just much more efficient, and your foot strikes bare, you're more upright, everything's working and engaged, and everything's ticking along. You're not running any faster. Your form's improving because your cadence is better. So that's.
And what will be the benefits of that on your long run when it comes to race day, doing sessions like that?
Well, he's working at a low heart rate, so he's doing the aerobic base building. He's working in zone 2, which we spoke about the benefits of that. Not going into that again, but he's working there to build that aerobic base. So come race day, he's in better form. He's obviously doing all the speed work around that and building all the other bits and the blocks in around that. But by working on your cadence and improving that, again, when you come to race day, you're much more efficient. Your form's better. You're going to be much more proficient over the race distance. So working on cadence when running slowly is a real good thing to do. Funnily enough, I was doing it with Posty on Wednesday. He's got a marathon at the weekend, and I was working on him with his cadence uphill to try and speed up his cadence while going up the hill. So because towards the end of that marathon, you slow down, you get tired when you're going up a hill, and it all becomes again a bit sloppy and a bit out. So I was trying to get him to firstly get more upright, but it increases cadence. So shorten the stride up, but make it faster. So he's much more efficient going up the hill. So when he gets to the top of the hill, he can then maintain the pace carrying on. So he's not losing as much time, and he's not losing energy and decreasing his efficiency by running poorly and with a lower cadence up the hill.
And I suppose as well, it provides you with a bit of mental focus as well on one of these long runs, doesn't it? If you've got something else to think about.
Yeah. But I mean, he's probably who was it? James is probably busy monitoring his heart rate, I guess.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's able to pick up the fact that his cadence. The other thing I would say with this, just a caveat to all this, James, and I'd be interested to know, emailing at something.com. But how are you measuring your cadence? Are you wearing a heart rate monitor like a pro that is measuring your cadence a little bit better? They're not. It's not the most accurate way of measuring. You know, do you have something on your feet like one of the stride things or one of those other tools that are monitoring your cadence? Because if you're just doing it on your watch, then you might as well be like looking at a pie and mash menu. You know, it's about as useful as that. So just be careful the data that you're looking at, as always with these things. You know, if you're focusing on cadence, then maybe invest in something that does actually track it properly. I would say that if you're looking to increase that. But you do know anyway, with cadence, you know anyway, because you know if you're picking up your feet a little bit quicker and you're getting it done, you will know the difference. So that was that. Now here we go. Right, next one.
Hopefully that was helpful, James.
Yeah, James. Yeah. How long we got? Okay, right. We'll do Penny because Penny's a big fan of the show. Sends us a lot of emails in, and we appreciate that. So we've got one here. Love listening to the podcast every week. Thank you, Penny. Last 2 weeks have been fab. To be fair, the date on this is.
Is it 2020 too?
Yeah, it's been a while. That's all I say. She's got 3 marathons coming up. I think she might have already done a couple of them. Question is, sorry, Fanny. Question is, what would you do between your marathons in terms of long runs? She knows she needs to recover. So, my bad on the timing, Penny. But in terms of I think we spoke about this before, have we not? Or was it on Clubhouse where we spoke about what to do between marathons? But she's focusing on the long runs particularly. I personally would just literally tick over.
What's the time span, mate? What sort of time are we talking between these races?
I don't know. I've deleted it now. Hang on. I don't know. I've deleted it. I generally have to. I just get deleted.
Well, we'll take a sort of like a.
We'll just say a couple of weeks.
If you've got, say, 2 marathons within a month, and then 2 marathons within sort of 3 months, what sort of difference would you do then?
Again, would have been helpful if I hadn't deleted it. The week after, I would, 6 miles, 10 miles, whatever you fancy, really, because it depends. It's all relative, isn't it? It depends how hard you've gone at that marathon. You know, if you've gone and busted it out, or maybe it's your first one, and you're feeling it in your legs, then you need to factor in that recovery. So 6 miles would do you just fine. But if you took it easy, maybe it was not your A race, it was your B race. Then you could be out there doing 30 miles. Just nice and easy. And then maybe the second week do 10 miles, but put 3 of them at goal. You're not going to lose anything over a couple of weeks. If anything, you stand more risk of damaging yourself or wrecking your body. So it's that fine line of not cocking it up. But the important thing is to listen to your body. That's the key to this is to listen to your body. You might not be physically and mentally ready to go back at it and put together a long run, and give yourself that chance. The most important part is the recovery, but you need an active recovery. Said to JBS with Manchester, walk it out of your legs. Get out there, and walk that marathon out of your legs. Next day, get out there and just walk. And get rid of that. Get rid of that marathon out of your legs. It's the easiest way. If you can do some really good active walks, it is the surefire way. Because swimming, have you ever swum after doing a marathon? Oh my God. Or cycled. Oh, it's like it's like torture. But walking, it's great. It really is. It's such low impact, even though swimming is low impact and whatever. But it's such a low impact way of getting that marathon out. And if you know what I mean, I'm talking about, the lactic acid and the wear and tear on your muscles. Your muscles, you're tearing them, you're stressing them. And your bones as well, around your shins where all the muscles are pulling on them. You need that all to recover. But at the same time, you want the blood going through your legs.
Yeah.
So a nice, gentle stroll, but slowly, but getting more active will aid the recovery with the other bits that you're doing, like, laying down and eating chocolate in front of the TV over Easter. Vegan chocolate. Yeah, not orange chocolate, vegan chocolate. So I would I personally would give it a little bit of time, but 10 miles, 6 miles.
You will know best because you'll know your own body and you know what your own
it's so
capabilities
hard.
are.
And because I don't know the runner individually, so if I was on a coaching client, I would have taken them through their journey. I would have known what they've done in their plan. I would have known what we had, prepped in the race. Did it go to plan? Didn't it go to plan? What have we got next? You can factor all, and that's, it's not a plug. That's the benefits of having a coach. You can work that sort of stuff out. We can put together. But if you're not in that fortunate position that you've got one, then my advice is always listen to your body and just see how you feel. But you do want to get active. If you've got another marathon coming up, if you haven't got one, then do what the Hanson brothers do and just give yourself a couple of weeks off. But if you've got a second one coming up, then you need to get that active recovery going pretty lively, I would say.
Yeah, Penny's been smashing the runs though, isn't she? She's been doing loads of stuff. So I'm sure.
Yeah, sorry, Penny. I mean, really, I should have. As I said, I should have really checked what one it was and not deleted it. We've got another one from Hayden. Now, this tells you how old this one is. Well, it's not that old actually. I think, but he was saying how much he enjoyed Ben on the show. So
that's not too bad. That's only a couple of weeks.
Fair, but it's still a couple of weeks ago. So big shout out to Hayden. Mad love to you. He really enjoyed the Ben is Running show, and
Ben, who won, who finished first at the winter run, and then came on with us and had we had a really good chat with him. Really insightful into the and it wasn't braggy or anything like that. He talked about how he suffered from anxiety during races and things like that. Had a great chat with us, and then he ran 15.5 minutes for a park run the following day.
Yeah, I'm just reading another email here. This one's from March the 1st.
Oh, what did Hayden say? Was it just a thank you then?
I don't know, I deleted it.
Oh.
No, I've deleted it.
You're going to get sacked on emails. Where's Al?
Well, we don't do him. He's handing out Easter eggs. This one, this is long.
Have we got room for one more? I think we have.
This is from Daniel. I wish I wore my glasses now. Palfrey. This is long. I'm trying to work out, right? It's doing it on my phone. I'm trying to work out I somehow got a place. Right. I'm slowly up in my miles. Okay, so he's talking about, do you think right, okay, so he's asking about what's possible in his first race. Or is it asking too much? Right. So I think I get the gist of it. It's given us a really nice detail about his training and stuff like that, which is great and would have been helpful if I had read it before the email special. So apologies for that. But basically, he's up in his miles, and
he's doing a marathon, is he?
He's pacing his dropping. He's going up to and he's stepping stone to the full. He's doing a half marathon. So he's asking about his half marathon time, what he should go for first time out.
Okay.
He's asking if 1:45 is possible, or in his first one or two. I steady talkative pace. So his steady talkative pace is 9 to 10 minute a mile, and he's asking if a 1:45 half marathon is possible. So, firstly, yes, it is. I would say I would do actually what Tobe and I did the other day, based on what you were saying, Daniel. And we did it accidentally. We mentioned this about London landmarks. I would run to Phil on this effort. And just if you want to see what you've got and what you're capable of, because when you run to Phil, you learn a lot about yourself, more mentally than physically, because you've not got the constraints of a time on your wrist that you're trying to, benchmark. And I'm a big advocate of pacing strategies and running a heart rate and all this kind of stuff, right? But if you're trying to find a time, but this is your first stab at it, then running to Phil is a really good way of doing it first time. Because if it goes wrong, you'll learn that. You'll know it. Obviously, get your fueling right, things like that. But just understanding how your mind, your body reacts as you attempt to go for it and see how you feel. You might start off too quick. You might, blow up in the middle, or you might think you started too slow. But you're going to learn so much in that first attempt then you'll have all that data in which you can then process and learn and look at and go, right, I was feeling terrible there. Oh, I could have pushed a little bit more there. My heart rate was through the roof there. Oh, I didn't finish strong. You'll have all that data. You'll know the time you finish. And then the next one you go for, then you'll be able to take that data and use it and race and run accordingly. I think that's got to be a strategy if you can afford it. As long as it's not an A race, like a one you've really had your heart set on and you're raising money for charity or whatever. I don't know. It was a real special race for you, but you're literally going out there as a bit of a discovery. Then I personally would run it to feel.
Yeah, you need to have that bit of information to find out where you actually are, don't you?
Yeah, just find out where you are, see how your running's going, and you learn so much, Tobe, didn't we? To be fair, even us, who I would say are relatively experienced, not like some sort of super duper runners, but we're relatively experienced versus some people out there. But even for us, it was still a bit of a discovery when we did it at Landmarks, right?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, we quite enjoyed it, and we knew those times we were pushing it a bit harder, and that bits where we could push it that bit more. But it was a great, and you're saying to sort of get to the end, not really know what time we were at or distance because the watches were so far out.
True.
But it's good. But I think it's that thing as well. If you're going for your first half marathon, as you say, you run to feel, but you want to do it and you want to sort of kind of enjoy it while you're still pushing yourself a bit. You don't want to do. I mean, my London Landmark's quite good for me because that was my first ever half marathon in 2019, I think 2018-19, and I completely screwed that one up. So
did
to go back,
did you end up with a Portaloo in that one time?
I didn't. No, not during it. That's where I ran. That's where I ran out. Went out too fast. Took some Haribo off some of the great crowds around there, and then realised that I can't eat Haribo when I'm running.
Schoolboy error.
Oh, I'll tell you what I had the other day on my long run. Hot cross bun. That was lovely.
Did you stop like Ben does and have it halfway?
With a coffee?
With a coffee? Like Ben
no,
does.
I didn't have a coffee. No, but I had a hot cross bun in my pack. I did 17 miles the other day, and at the halfway point, I ate that. It was great. Really good.
I think that's the perfect way to end the show, Wilco.
Each the tip.
On a hot cross bun tail.
Yeah. So get your hot cross buns, stick one in your hydro pack when you go out for your long run this weekend. Have it at half time. Yeah. Thank me later.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to end the show. Well,
I hope we could have done that show in 2 minutes, really, couldn't we? That's all we needed.
Yeah. So I hope we've been able to help you out with some of your email inquiries, and we've cleared a bit of the backlog.
Yeah, there's still more.
Yeah. If you wanted to join in the fun, like I said, and you think, oh God, I'd love to get my email read out on the long run. That'd be brilliant.
Awesome tips. Awesome advice. Yeah.
If you want advice or anything like that, just send us an email, longrunshow@gmail.com. We will get round to it. We'll try and keep on top of them. We'll do our best. And we love to have all your feedback, all your suggestions, all your views, news. Let us know. And remember that we're not live this week, but we are usually live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can chip in and ask your questions while we're on. Or you can download us as a podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify. And please send us a review and help us boost us up the charts, because we do like to do well, and it's all good publicity for the club as well as the podcast as well. So thanks very much for joining us. Wish you all a very happy Easter. Thank you very much to Skechers for all their support, and we shall see you live next week. All the best.
See you later, everyone. Roll the tiles, Tope.